Good morning, children. I hope by now all of you are familiar with using the keyboard and typing in WordPad. So, once you're back to school, you will be visiting the computer lab for doing your work and typing in WordPad, drawing pictures in MS Paint, and so on. Similarly, at home also you would be using a computer or a laptop or a desktop computer to do your work. So today we are going to see what are some of the basic manners we should have when we are around a computer, either in the computer lab in your school or even at your home. So let us see some of the computer room manners in this class. So the first rule which we need to follow is maintain a queue to enter the computer room. That is, you will form a proper line and enter the computer room very systematically. I think most of us are familiar with this. We do it in school when we go to the dance room or to the music room or we go for a PT period. So we form a proper line and we go. Similarly, in a computer room also, you will enter very systematically. So that helps both yourself and your teacher. So your teacher can place you, position you in each system properly, and at the same time you will also enter and you will not hurt yourself or by tripping on the, because there is lot of furniture and so many computers in the lab. So you will enter systematically into the computer room. Maintain silence inside this computer room. Yes, this is very difficult for us to do. Why? Because we want to type something and then we want to show that to our teacher, show it to our friends, or we want to draw something and show it to our friends. So we tend to make a lot of noise. But then we have to realize that in a computer room, there are so many children doing their work, right? So for that purpose, so that each of us can focus and concentrate on our work, it is very important that we maintain silence inside the computer room. So the next rule which we have to follow is press the keys on the keyboard gently. So nowadays all the keyboards are soft touch. So you just have to press it lightly and it comes on the screen. So it is very important that you take care of all the parts of the computer, whether it is in the computer lab, in school or at home. The better you maintain those parts, the longer it will stay with you. Otherwise, it will get spoiled very soon or it will not type as you want it to type. So, and it is going to unnecessarily trouble you and delay your work. So always press the keys on the keyboard very gently and don't pull the keyboard and mouse away from the computer, because there are wires that are connected from the keyboard to your computer. Yes, to the CPU. So it is very important that you do not pull away the keyboard or mouse and work on it very gently. Keep away from wires and sockets. Now this is important not only in the computer lab, even at your homes or in your classrooms. You are not supposed to go and touch the sockets. Right? We are still not old enough to understand what are the problems, but basically suppose there is some issue in the connection, in the wiring, right? So you might get hurt because of that. So since you are still small, you have to take the help of some elder person to switch on the power for your computer. So what you will do, you will ask your computer teacher or another teacher who is there in the lab, either a sir or ma'am, to help you to switch on the computer. And even at homes, you will take the help of your parents or somebody elder to you to switch on the computer. Avoid eating or drinking near your computer. Now this is something which is very tempting, because you feel that you want to do your work and at the same time you want to eat or drink something. But that is very harmful to the computer also, because if some food particle or something drops onto your keyboard or on your mouse, then they will not work. You will not be able to continue with your work. So it is always preferable that you sit separately and have your food, or when you are drinking something. Otherwise also, for health also, it is better that you don't do both things together. So always eat or drink away from your computer. Avoid sitting near the computer and doing it. Use the dustbin in the computer room. Do not litter paper around in the computer room. That is applying again to any of your surroundings, whether it is at home, whether it is in a public place, or whether it is in your computer room. Do not litter stuff directly down. You can put it in a proper dustbin and keep the lab clean. Take turns to use the keyboard and the mouse if sharing a computer. Now, most of the times in the lab, you get to sit on individually, you can sit on a computer. But sometimes, in case you need to share a computer, it's always nice if you can share with your friends. So, in case you need to share a computer, then make sure that you take turns to use the keyboard and the mouse. Otherwise, you will end up fighting there. So you have to, suppose you are given to type 4 sentences, for example. So you can tell your friend that you will type 2 sentences and your friend can type 2 sentences. So like that, take turns to use the computer. Keep your back straight when sitting on a computer. So this is a very important aspect which you should follow. So when you're sitting in front of a computer, when you slouch or when you bend your back and sit, and then you sit for a long time, you will end up with a severe back pain. It will start paining, right? So always remember, you have to be comfortably seated when you're working on a computer. When you're working, you don't realize that you have been sitting for so long. When then later on you will have these problems. So be very careful. Keep your back straight when sitting on a computer. Computers should be kept dust-free, neat and clean. So this is applying to both computers in your lab and also at home. So you have to ensure that it is kept dust-free. So in the school, we have people to help us out with this. So they help us to keep our computers dust-free, neat and clean. Same way at homes also, you have to ensure that it is kept clean. So, but then remember, you're not supposed to use any wet cloth to clean the parts. You have to use a soft cotton cloth which is dry. Otherwise, it will spoil the different units further. So, computers should be kept dust-free, neat and clean. So then it will stay on for many years if it is taken care of properly. Computers should be switched off when not in use. So when you're not using a computer, please ensure that it is switched off. So when you come back to school, or you can take guidance from your parents, how you can shut down the computer. So once you have shut down the computer, then you have to ensure that it is switched off and the power switch is also off, so that the power is not wasted and unnecessarily you don't use the computer, keep the computer on for a long time and spoil the computer also. So always remember that when not in use, the computer should be switched off. With that, we come to the end of today's lesson. I hope all of you are clear with the computer room manners, whether it is at school or at home, how to take care of your computer and how to behave when you come to the computer room in school. Since you have learned WordPad, how to type in WordPad, you can type any 5 computer room manners in WordPad. Number each of them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and type any 5 computer room manners as a practice activity for today. So with that, I take leave. Thank you and have a good day.